Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So, dev server dropped today, and I thought for once I should probably go through and have a look and just show off all the new stuff, because I do get it all given to me, and just give my opinions on some of the new things. And obviously it is dev server, so everything is subject to change. A couple of bugs here and there, but for the most part, mostly everything is on the dev server, and it gives a decent representation of what we're going to be getting in game. Some of the BRs are a little bit whiffy, so bear in mind everything might change, but it's a decent foundation to what we're going to get. So I'll go into the Italian stuff last, probably go through things nation by nation, covering the new jets, everything. But I won't be probably test driving and test flying everything, just because I want this to be relatively brief, so it's not too long. So before I ramble any more than I have, let's start with the Bradley. So 8.7. The Bradley is a little bit underwhelming from what I've seen so far. It's quite slow, which is the main thing. The gun for the IFVs is not that bad. I think it's pretty decent. But the main thing I guess is going to strike people so far is that the tow missiles, in that it on the dev server right now it only gets two shots, and a good thing about the Bradley is that it comes with this battle cruise control mode. So you can manually set cruise controls for tanks, but this one gets a specific one which allows it to keep in gear and keep the tows out. But if you drive normally, like without using the specific gear, it will go down. You won't be able to use them. But on the stat card, it does say that you can get 6 tow missiles, but right now it only gets 2, so you can't reload them. But that's going to be fixed on the live, obviously. So gun is pretty decent. Gets the APDS belts with the 1 HE, and it's pretty good. It's been knocking out barrels and things like that. It works in that regard, a bit like the Warrior. The missiles as well, standard tow missiles, they're pretty good for what they are, at least. So I think the Bradley might not be as good as everyone is thinking it probably was going to be. There's a lot of hype around it, I know. But it's just, in my opinion, so far a little bit too slow. And at 8.7, I feel comfortable in saying the Warrior outclasses the Bradley. Granted it gets a stabilizer, so it's going to be a little bit better using the main gun to take out lightly armored targets. And for some reason it gets lock-on for planes, like the radar, but I think that's a bit of a bug right now. But the game you've got to play with a dev server is that, is it a bug or a feature? You just don't know. So yeah, that's the Bradley. I'm not super impressed with it so far, but it's obviously might be really good when it comes out. The BR might change, but as a vehicle, it's not super impressive. Now for something I think everyone is quite looking forward to seeing, the F100, the Super Sabre. So, apart from looking very sleek and a little bit like a catfish, it's, at least in my opinion so far, the most underwhelming of all the jets. Even the Javelin has got a few more key features that work a little bit better than this thing. It's very, very sluggish, and I think there's going to be a few tweaks to the performance of all the jets across the board before they come out. So I won't be going too deep into them, as I think this is probably going to get a little bit of a buff in terms of how it performs. As right now, it's not that great, but it's the top speed is good, the missiles are good, mobility at speeds is pretty good. It's just when it gets to the lower side, it's very, very underwhelming. And the guns right now, from my experience in using them, they're not that great. The MiG definitely takes the cake on all fronts, really, for the new jets. But so my voice is terrible right now. I've been talking a lot, and I've been drinking like gallons of water to try and prepare for this long unedited segment. So yeah, sorry if it keeps doing that. Yeah, very sleek looking plane, very nice, but functionally not amazing right now. But obviously, dev server will have to wait and see. For the new premium, jet premium, the F-35 Sabre, it doesn't have too much to add. I don't think it's the worst out of the new jets, but it's definitely the least kind of interesting. The F-35, as far as I know, is a kind of ground strike variant, but it doesn't have any of that in game right now. It gets the standard loadout of the rest of the Sabres, 2 1,000-pound bombs or 16 HVARs. and there's not really much else to add from that. It's just a reskin. There's nothing unique that this plane adds, and on that basis, I think it's a little bit better than the MiG in terms of as a product, but still, it's not that impressive overall. I think it's a little bit underwhelming again. Yeah, there's not really much to go into on the Sabre. There is a new ship for the US, which is the Rayleigh, which I don't know too much about ships, so I won't be going into this very much, but it looks pretty speedy for a cruiser. Armament seems pretty good, but again, I'm talking out my arse right now because I know absolutely nothing about how ships at this tier perform. So it looks nice, probably gonna be pretty good. I don't know, but here we go. This is the ship anyway. Yeah, not really too much I can add to that right now. So that's it so far. Just a note, by the way, as well. I know the T-30 was data mined as well, along with the Su-85A, a French plane, and a while ago the Westland Welkin was data mined, and I think these are likely, unless it's just been left out of this dev server, I think they're likely, possibly, maybe not the French one, but I think the Welkin, the T-30 maybe, and definitely the Su-85A are probably going to be the winter event, like the Winter Madness free premiums for grinding event. I think that's quite likely at this point. I don't know, this is obviously speculation, but I think that makes a fair bit of sense, but maybe they've just been left out. I don't know. On that basis as well, the French, the AMX 10 RC, I think it is, that's not in this iteration of the dev server as well, so I can't show that off to you right now. But yeah, so when the next dev server comes out, it might be different. So for Germany, the only new thing really is the this new cruiser, which looks amazing. I really like the look of this with the triple guns in these turrets here. They look really, really cool. So yeah, I think this is probably going to be a favourite of cruiser players. But again, I don't know anything about this kind of thing, but I just know that it looks very cool, and to me that's pleasing enough. The only other thing that I found is that the UH-1D here gets a camouflage, which looks cool, but yeah, that's about it that I found for Germany. So on to Russia. First thing to cover here with the American helicopters as well. They get these countermeasures, so you get the flares, the EVU, which I think disguises the heat signature a little bit, and the IRCM, which basically functions the same right now. The flares don't work right now, they're not actually functioning, but they are there visually on the model if we take a look here. You can see the flares here, and with the EVU, you can see on the exhaust here, I think that's the disguise for it. So yeah, it's pretty cool, going in a pretty interesting direction. I don't have it grinded out because my dev server's gone a bit weird. I don't have my actual progression for my live, but this gets the these missiles as well, air-to-air missiles, and they work a lot better than the ones on the jets right now, so they're probably a more modern version. So yeah, the H1Z has that countermeasure, which is again pretty good. But yeah, back to Russia. The only thing we've got for ground forces is the T-72A, which is a little bit underwhelming in my opinion. It gets 4 launches of the smoke, which is pretty good, and it also gets this this package, this 1983. As far as I know right now, it doesn't change anything really. I mean, I might be completely blind right now, but I don't think it really changes much in terms of, well, anything really. So that's probably, a bug, so it's probably going to have something extra in terms of armor or whatever when it comes out on the live server, so bear that in mind. It's not here right now. But the main thing, which you might may or may not know, which makes this tank definitely worth it in my opinion, is it has a pretty cool new animation tied to it. And that's, you can see the hatch at the back there. When you fire, pop goes the casing, and it even bounces off the engine deck. And the attention to detail here is great, because if you're moving, it follows the momentum and misses the engine deck, so it's not the same every time. It's relative to your movement. I think that's really, really cool. As well, this thing has a 8-second reload, which is fixed in the autoloader, which isn't that great. Ammo choices is what you can be expecting. And at 9.3, it's a little bit underwhelming right now, and yeah, not really too much to talk about this one. Maybe it'll be a little bit better with the add-on armor that comes out. Maybe on the next iteration of the dev server. Not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see there. For the fleet, just cover this quickly. They get 3 new things: the this destroyer here and this destroyer here, which isn't unlocked for some reason. But yeah, from the looks of it, these are just pretty decently armed, really quick destroyers, and they're looking. They're probably gonna be pretty functional, but again, I don't really know. I'm gonna drink some water quick before my voice gives up on me completely. Delicious English tap water. My kind of thing. Yes, this new destroyer as well, the Krasny Krim, is it gets not the big guns, not the 180s, but it gets lots 15 130s, which are pretty good. The accuracy from what I've seen isn't amazing, but I don't know if that's going to change with upgrades or whatever. But yeah, so far it looks pretty cool. Lots of rain of fire potential there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that one on the live server. Now, for the MiG-15 BIS and the MiG-19, this is very, very fun. We're going to give this a test flight here. And it sounds amazing and it flies amazing. Mobility's great. The climb is... playing this one really made me want to invest a bit more time into jets. And just look at how this thing looks. It's amazing. Like the cockpit as well. It's all lovely. And it's such a sleek looking aircraft, and this is functionally the best one right now. And from talking to a few people, it's performing a little bit too well. Apparently it's a little bit too fast. Obviously I don't know if that's true, but it performs, it swamps the F-100 and the Javelin in terms of performance, maneuverability wise and everything. So right now this is definitely the best one. At least from what I've seen, the climb rate is just incredible. The rockets seem to be on par with the others, kind of. I haven't really played them that much to see what the intricacies are, but they seem functional and they work. The guns as well, the 30s are, I haven't sparked once. Every single hit has, one shot, whatever I've been aiming at. So we'll just go over to this AI target here, this Sabre, and show you the missiles. So I haven't got my control set up too well, but so it gets this circle, and if you hold over it, you need to hold the button down, and when they're there like that, you just need to press the fire button if you want to work. No, okay. I've had a few troubles with the rockets. They've I've played some matches where the rockets don't fire at all, and some matches they work completely fine, and I don't know, it's dev server, things are going to be a little bit odd, but you can see the maneuverability of this thing is just amazing. It's functionally the best right now. So let's see if I can get these rockets to fire. Come on. No, load factor too high. Does that mean I'm going too fast? I don't know, let's try and slow down. But this thing is very new to me, this whole jet thing. I don't know really much about these aircraft whatsoever. So we can learn together. Isn't that fun? So let's see if this looks. There we go. Going a bit too fast. And right on, yeah. So these rockets, you need to be pretty much directly behind a target to get the rockets to actually land. Rockets, missiles, you know what I mean. So I'm going to get a bit of altitude to try and show you the boom. But yeah, at an angle, or if you're, it's at any angle head on, the rockets generally aren't going to hit, so they're very, you need to be right behind someone. But if it's, it gets to be a little bit too late if you lock on directly behind someone and they haven't noticed you. So by that time, because of how fast the jets are, they can't really maneuver away from them, from what I found. So yeah, you need to be, as long as you're in a good position, they're going to be pretty functional, but mainly you're still going to be relying on the guns. They are a bit more situational, the rockets, and they do lock onto props too, which is interesting. Alright, let's try and get this. There is a nice visual effect for the boom. There's no sound for it yet, as far as I can tell. Yeah, you can see it making here, and the sound's going a little bit weird, but yeah, visual effects all there, all very cool. This thing is just very, very speedy. Flight model's a little bit weird. I think it's a little bit too maneuverable at these speeds, especially like going in the negative. But obviously, I don't know. It just seems a little bit unrealistic to me. I'm not sure. But yeah, this one definitely best so far. It's also very easy to rip, I've found. Yeah, so got to be careful with this one. But yeah, I've been the most impressed by the MiG-19 so far, and as a a beginner to this whole jet thing, I think this is probably the easiest one to use. But onto the premium, the MiG-15 Bish, as I've started calling it, because I'm a trendsetter, as it were. This one I can't recommend it at all right now, and obviously I don't want to say don't spend money on it, because it might be fixed or whatever, it might be good by the time it comes out, but the rockets are just way too hard to use. You're going to be relying on the bombs. But on the store page, it does say that, well, it alludes to this being able to carry 8 S-24s, the tiny Ivans, but they're not here right now. I'm not sure if it was a typo or whatever, we weren't sure, but right now it only gets these S5Ks, the heat rockets, which aren't very good on their own anyway, but with this downward configuration, I'll show you what I mean. They're very, very difficult to use, and you're going to have to relearn an entire new way to play with these rockets. As you can see, probably be easier to show when I actually take off here. But the reticule is still there for the rockets, but the problem is, at least for me, I find the problem is that the rockets are in your fuselage, or at least the indicator is in your fuselage, so you can't really see where the rockets are aiming. Like, so you kind of lose them underneath the fuselage and you can't really aim like that. And because they're mounted quite far on the wings as well, it's just, I found them really tedious. Me and Slick were playing in customs, and I was going quite slowly over him, and I couldn't get the rockets to really hit. They fire a little bit below the reticule as well, and it's just, as you can see here, they're very hard to use. And the MiG-15 as a 9.0 fighter, like actually in the fighter role as a jet, it's not the best anyway, and this is the one I think is probably the least functional right now. Yeah, if I just, strafe this building, for example, it's just, you lose sight of it while the rockets are firing, so at the point of impact you can't see what you're shooting at, which I think is the problem. So you can't tell if you're leading too much or too little, and in that basis I think it's going to be really difficult to actually learn how to use these. And so from diving down, because usually people dive down to shoot rockets on top of things, and you need to go at a really weird angle to shoot down on top of stuff with these, and it's just, I can't see this one being really easy to use, and a good introductory premium, maybe in online, maybe in realistic battles it'll have some functionality, but right now I think this one, as it is the worst, at least right now anyway. On to Bong. Let's cover the Javelin and the Reaper. The Javelin I don't think is as bad as everyone's making out. The manoeuvrability is, from what I've seen, pretty decent, at least for what it is, this huge delta wing plane. And the rockets as well, missiles, I need to get that right, otherwise I'm going to get pedantic neats screeching at me in the comments. But yeah, it gets 4 of them, and they work very, very well. I think these are the best ones right now. I might be wrong about that. People have been telling me these are the most functional. And yeah, even though it can't go supersonic in a straight line, it's not super quick, but the manoeuvrability is good, the guns are great, and the rockets do work. But they are at tier 2 as a modification, so you are going to be struggling a little bit when this thing comes out. But still, I think the Javelin's not as bad as people say. It's going to be worth giving it a go. Yeah, not really so much more I can add about that. I would want to go through and test fly all of these things, but it's just going to take too long. And I'm pretty sure other people have probably covered it too. Now, the Reaper, I think, is the best so far of all of the pre-orders, just in its like how unique it is and how functional it is on that basis. So you get the choice of 14 RP3s or 4 1,000-pound bombs and 2 center mount as well. So that's 2 drops. So that's, if you're good at bombing, about 2 guaranteed kills. But the RP3s in this configuration are amazing. So you get the RP3s work really, really well. I'm a really big fan of those. And the centre-mounted ones that fire last, they're really, really good. Centre-mounted RP3s, especially on jets, are super, super functional. And the one thing I was kind of disappointed about is that in real life, this allegedly, this plane was fitted with the 75mm Mollins gun underneath the fuselage. But as you can see, that isn't in the game right now. Maybe it'll be there one day, but right now it isn't. But yeah, as a plane, it's probably the most functional. It is 9.0 right now. I think that's a bug. It should be 8.0 when it comes out. And I'm going to take a preemptive sip of water before my voice gives up on me again. I'm not used to talking for this long. Delicious. Right, back in business. So yeah, you get a lot of functionality with this one. If you can learn how to use the Meteor Mark 8s, I know people are amazing with them. It's a good fighter. It's a good ground striker in tanks and for RB with these rockets. So it's going to work on the basis of a product, in that there's always going to be ground targets, and as a ground strike aircraft predominantly, this one's probably the best in my opinion. Obviously, it is my opinion. I don't want to sway anyone into buying it now. You're going to want to wait, definitely, when it comes out on the live server regardless. But right now, this one's probably impressed me the most from the jet pre-orders. Quick look at the fleet. New Tier 1 Premium, not really much to say about that. It's basically the same thing, it's a little bit different. New cruiser for the UK. Is it going to be functional? Probably. I again don't know. The arrangement of the guns at the front here looks pretty promising. Lots of opportunities to angle the armour and stuff. Yeah, it looks decent. Again, I might be talking out my arse. Might be really bad. I don't know. Right, on to the two tanks we have here. Challenger Mark III and I'm not going to pronounce it. So Challenger Mark III, you already know what it is. It does get the Dart stock, which is great. I think a lot of people were annoyed about that on the normal one. Let me see. Does it still get the? Yeah, this one still gets Sabo stock. It's probably not going to be as functional as people might have hoped. It is only against chemical rounds. Let me get the X-ray up here. Wrong one. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so only against chemical rounds, really. So it's not going to be super impressive, I think. But the thing Britain was really lacking was a lineup, and it gets a little bit more support with the Challenger Mark III here. So yeah, it is what it is. Not amazing, but it's going to be at least a little bit more functional. Excuse me. Onto the premium here, which is in tier 6, which I think is wrong, but bug or feature. So this thing is a little bit underwhelming from what I've seen so far. Armor-wise, standard Centurion. The mantlet, as you can see, is very weak. I think there's no spool plate behind there either. No, it's just the ERA. So standard conventional rounds will cut right through that. It does get this round, which is basically a copy of the Leo A1A1's APDS or APFSDS, and it gets all these other options. It's got a lot of versatility there. The ERA, I don't know how functional it's going to be. It's got it everywhere, but I can't really say if it's going to be that good yet. We just don't know. But the one thing that disappoints me the most is I was hoping it was going to be a little bit faster, as it is pretty slow, and I was hoping for a little bit more speed, but it's a Centurion, not the faster things, and it is weighed down a little bit by the armor. So as you can see here, it's not that quick. Acceleration's not amazing, and it is decked out, so you got to be fair to it. But the stabilizer's okay. It gets a little bit jumpy, but with the round it gets, you can't really complain, and it does look very intimidating with all of that. It gets lots of smoke grenades as well, so lots of fun to be had, and it does look very imposing with all those MGs, and it's going to be a little bit of a fresh air to get this round, get this gun in the British tree, but it's not. It's going to be a bit more of a passive tank, I think. But again, things might change. But right now, it's not looking amazing. But again, I want to, say, like, for the last video I made as well, especially, don't pre-order, wait until it gets on the live server, see for yourself, because everything might change. We just have no clue right now. For Japan, getting closer to Italy, the only thing we really get is the Type 89, which I'm really happy was added. And as you can see, it's amazing 500mm thickness on the mantlet here. That's going to be great, really functional. I'm really happy to see that's going to be basically impenetrable. Obviously, I'm making a bit of a meme. But yeah, this thing for 8.0, I'm really impressed with. So it gets it's not IPDS, it's HVAC, but it's a full HVAC belt, and it gets 6, I believe, ATGMs, and the ATGMs are very, very good. So let's give this a test here. It's a little bit slow firing and no stabilizer like the Warrior. Actually, my mistake, it's more fast firing than I thought. The yeah, it's decent. I think this is going to be good against taking out lightly armoured things from the side. Turret traverse is, just look at that, that's amazing. And the ATGMs, you can fire both, I think, at the same time. Let me try that. No, you can't, my mistake. You can on the Bradley, I think, but not this one. But yeah, the reload for them is decent, and they are pretty high penning, and yeah, I think this one is going to be pretty fun, especially with that turret elevation and traverse, and I think Japan really needed something like this. It's still not going to make the lineup that amazing until maybe we get helicopters or a couple of more things like the Type 74G and a few other top tier MBTs for Japan to really make the lineup worth it. Because at top tier, it's going to be Type 90, 74, Type 89, Type 87. That's not really going to be enough versatility. Let's quickly cover France here. Excuse me. No new things for the aircraft at the moment. There should be a plane, but again, that might be a winter event. It might just not be in this thing, in this dev server. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, actually, is there nothing for France? Oh no, I'm being stupid. Ignore me. Nothing for France yet. There should be something, the AMX 10, but that's not in this iteration. I think that's everything, unless I'm being stupid and forgetting. I don't think so. Can finally go on to Italy, which I think is what a lot of people are excited for. So we do have some RE 2001s, which I think they're going to be decently maneuverable, decently armed, especially in this later version here. So this is the Night Fighter variant, I think, with the 20 mils. Not much ammo with them, but I think, with the flight model this thing has, if it's anything to go off from these two, it's going to be good. This is the bomber variant, as far as I know. Yep. So we're gonna have to see how they perform. I don't really have the time to well, it's gonna be a waste of time to just test flying them. We're gonna have to see how they perform actually on the live server. But they look okay. They look promising for low tier planes. We also get this thing, which is very cool. The burst mass on this thing of 6 151s in the nose and the wing roots here. This thing's gonna be really fun, I think. Another water break. Hang on. Getting my fix. And a very futuristic looking turret at the back here. Like, this looks really cool. It does get some bomb options, but how functional they're going to be on the wings, So going to be a fun plane for AirRB. I test flew it. It's quite sluggish. It's not that quick. 4.7. It's going to need some support. But again, have to see. Right, on to what everyone is probably looking forward to. Going to be a bit confusing, seeing as they all have the icon of the tiger, but we'll try and go through them. I'm going to go through them in lines so I don't miss any out. Right, let's start off with this thing. So the majority of the low tiers, no armor and very bad guns. This thing is a wheeled, obviously, and I think, judging by how the rules on these things work, is tier 1s and reserve tier tanks don't get hull break. As a fair few of these, I'll just go through examples. Probably not that one, I've went into the wrong one. But some of them probably should get hull break because of the 30mm rule, but not sure yet, I'll have to see. These are, the 20mm variants are quite underwhelming from what I've seen, quite disappointing. So this one and the former AB41 here, they're not that great, and the well, I'll go through the rest. I'll test drive this and show you what I mean. The magazine for these early guns is 8 rounds, which isn't really very good anyway, considering like the Panzer 2s get 10. But as you can see, they're decently damaging for what they are. So to show you here, decent. But look at that reload. It's about, I think, 6 seconds on an aced crew. I think I might be getting that wrong, but this isn't going to be that great. You're going to need a little bit more ammunition to do damage, and a little bit more reload to actually be functional. So I think these ones aren't going to be that great from what I've seen so far. Some of the others look okay, I hasten to say, but you know, the armor's not terrible for what it is. Like, at least on the turrets here, the turrets are pretty decent. But also, I'll show you quickly the camos. I think people probably want to see the camos. I know I do. Sadly, only this one, which is cool, and the winter one is grindable. The others all are locked behind a paywall, which is a bit disappointing. I was hoping for a couple more grindable ones, that one especially, but how to make do. Maybe they'll make a couple more grindable, we don't know. But yeah, I thought I'd just show those. But this gun is one of the better ones, so I'll just test drive it. This is probably going to be the round we're going to want to using. It's very late. It's like 2 in the morning right now, so I'm not being super articulate. So please do forgive me for that. Yeah, the low tier is going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Standard low tier mobility, not terrible, not amazing. Gun handling is quite poor. Yeah, reload, something to be desired for sure. Even though it gets 2 crew members in the turret, I feel like the reload should be changed a little bit. Yeah, they're not super high damaging. It's going to be tricky to see how these things work. But I think, from the looks of it, low tier and the mid tier, like all the way, to be honest, all the way up to the top tier, it's going to be quite underwhelming. The AA we get has the, it looks kind of cool, kind of quirky, but it suffers with the same problem as the other low tier 20mm. The belt is a little bit bigger. I think it's about 12 rounds, I think. My memory's probably not that great on this. 12 rounds, there we go. But again, let's just fire off the bowfighter here. Missed completely, but again, the reload, not that great. And this, depressingly enough, this thing functionally is going to be better than the reserve tiers in terms of versatility in the gun. It can depress all the way forward. Mobility a little bit better than the reserves, I think. Probably not the wheeled one, but just because of the reload and because of the shoulder-mounted stabilizer, which is a bit too good, I'd say. That's almost like a proper stabilizer. This outshines the other reserves, so not sure. Probably going to be changed, but still, I think that one's probably going to be the main of most people's lineups. Now this, I'm going to test drive it. It's going to be a fun boy. It's a 20mm. The reload rate's wrong, by the way, but it's got 1 gram explosive mass here, and it's not automatic, and it loads in clips. So I'll show you what I mean. But I think this thing actually isn't going to be terrible from the looks of it. It looks like it's actually going to be pretty decent. Water break. Look at the size of this boy. Just look at that. That is adorable. It's pretty quick, and so let's just show you here. So it has 10 shots, as you can see in I think it's like a clip. It's only really going to be good at its tier, so no really up tiering it. For the reload it has and the damage it does, I think it's okay. Then after that you've got a 6-second reload to reload the clip. So I think this is actually going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to this one. It's just going to be fun. It's functional. It looks like a meme, but it's a functional meme, which you rarely really get. So yeah, this one is definitely looking good. Just quick look at the armor. Nothing to really be desired there. Right, on to what we got next. Let's have a look at this one. This one is probably going to be not very good if I remember right. No armor to speak of. Gun in the hull. It's worse than the French. It's this is. I mean, the damage is okay, but this is going to be pretty terrible, I think. And it does get a unique desert camo. Wrong one. Look at that. That's like it looks like a toy. It's great. I like that. I think that's really cool. That's the only really redeeming thing about this particular one. This is going to be very bad, I think. On to the last of the tier 1s. We have this open-topped TD here. Reload is pretty good. It's going to be 6.5, which is goes down to about 5.3 expert, I think. It's got the same gun as one of the other tanks we previously looked at. Penetration and damage for 1.7, decent. Reload's decent. How much crew do we get? 2 crew. It's on the tankette. So, not going to be too bad, but, you know, this lineup here, I'd say the 3.3, like 4.0 to 3.0, I think is going to be decent in terms of the lineups that we've got. So let's look at this one quick. This looks relatively decent, I think. Let's give this a test drive. Actually, I haven't test driven this thing yet. So I think the reload should be the same at 5.3 seconds here. Yep. Let's see how quick this thing is and how the turret drive looks. 'Cause at 2.0, this thing might be okay. Let's give this give it a whirl. The wheeled vehicles so far look pretty fun. There's a couple of we're going to see. So yeah, turret drive not amazing for the speed. That's really that's the traverse there is really good. Look at that. That's really good actually. So let's see how it stops. Can't really fire on the move, I guess. Yeah. Gun bounce is okay. No, I take that back. Damage is alright. Reload's okay. This is going to be like a Puma, I guess. Doesn't have scouting. Right? Actually, does it have scouting? Let me check, because that's not on the test drive. Bear with. This is a light tank, so yeah. Getting a lot of scouts. I think this thing's going to be fun. Err on the side of caution, but this thing looks okay. Obviously P40 here, same as the premium, exactly the same. Just with different camos really, and in the tree that's nothing really to add. Leoncello just gets the Leoncello camo. This thing looks like a bit of fun. What is going on here? Look at that. It's going to get hull broken because I think this is like a 50% modifier here. Let's see. Yep. So going to get hull broken, but this just looks cool. It's I'll show you a little bit on this platform. It's the Orlikon gun. The 20mm is pretty decent and fully traversable and pretty quick. It's really fast, this thing, and it just looks quite silly. So I think someone said in a stream, it looks like that little trash robot from Star Wars. It's great. Traverse isn't amazing, but yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty decent, I think. Mobility is gonna be good. It's gonna be able to hassle lightly armored things for sure. Overheat on the gun is very good from the looks of it. Yeah, this thing's gonna be a good AA, I think. Obviously, single-barreled AA is never really too great, but I think for the tier, it's gonna be okay. I think there should be another AA as well. I think like a Whirlwind-esque AA that isn't here right now. Might be the next iteration of the dev. Might be a premium. You know, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. That should be there, but I'm just saying it's not right now. Now I'll go through all of these in one go. So these are all, I'll just do a brief overlook here. These are all the way up to, I think, that one. They're all basically exactly the same in terms of what they look like, in terms of how they perform, I guess. That was really, a really stupid way of putting it. They're all basically the same tank, but a little bit different. So for 2.3 here, The armor is very good. The gun is very underwhelming. Well, the damage, you can see 270 grams. There's a lot of damage potential here with the heat as well. This thing is going to be pretty decent, even with the armor. So I'll take this into a test drive just to show. I think these tanks are going to be pretty good. The downside of the armor is that on paper it looks okay because there's going to be things that can't pen it. But because it's flat, if a tank can pen more than 70 mils of armor, it's going to go through every time. And it's only got 3 crew, so it's going to get killed with a penetration. But it's very low to the ground, very, very low profile. And it's neutral, well, its traverse when it's still is very good for what it is. So you can easily, like someone's flanking you, it's slower, well, it's quick enough to traverse around and match someone flanking, and a lot of TDs don't have that. So that's pretty decent advantage. Reload isn't amazing, so bear that in mind, but from what I can see, the damage potential here, very, very good. So I have that to look forward to. But yeah, all of these in this line are very, very similar. They all have slightly different armor, slightly different speeds, and slightly different gun. So I'll just go through these ones here. So this one is the same, I think, all around. This one at 3.0. The gun's longer. I think this is a bit different. I think this should have different ammo from the looks of it, because the gun's different, but same ammo. So yeah, watch out for that one. That's probably going to be a bit different. This one, I think, let's see. This has the Leoncello's gun, but I think it has 50mm of armor. Yeah, 50mm instead of 70, and at 3.3, this one might struggle a little bit. This is the 105, same as the premium here. Back to 70mm of armor and 90 on this bit here. I won't go into test drive, but from what I've shown, from what I've seen rather, the gun is super damaging. Loads of filler. If it pens, it'll destroy it. The heat here, 120, is very good as well. This thing is I like these. I think they're going to be good, but the danger is just that there's no real great lineup. It's 3.3. It's going to be the best lineup for all of these. It's going to be 3.3, 4.7 maybe if they downtier a few things, and then it's probably going to be 6.3, 6.7, then up to the top, which we'll get into in a bit. Onto this one here, which has 100mm of armor, which is pretty good, double stacked here, at 4.3, which is decent, not amazing. It's still going to meet things like the Russian 76, which can't pen it. So yeah, this one's going to be pretty decent, I'd say. Again, same gun as the Leoncello, good reload, going to be decent. I've got high hopes for these ones. This is where it starts letting down a little bit here. I thought this was going to be decent, because I thought it looks kind of cool. It's a tractor with a big old gun. It's the 90mm, and the 90mm is pretty good. We're going to a test drive here, and in the test drive, this is where things start going downhill a little bit. Much like the SU-51, it has absolutely no ammo. It has 8 rounds, and at 5.3, it's got practically nothing going for it. It's very slow for what it is. Can get hull broken as far as I can tell, and it's slow. Traverse isn't amazing. The gun is pretty easy to aim. I actually hit that great. It's very damaging, but it's just this. I think is definitely going to get a BR reduction. It's got no basis being at 5.3, where you have things like the flak bus and other alternatives like that at the lower BRs. I think this thing definitely deserves a reduction, and I hope it's going to get one. But it might just be up this high, so it gives the illusion of having tanks at a different, like a higher BR. I'm not sure. But yeah, this thing, probably not great so far. Now we have the M36B1. Obviously, it's not going to be 6.7. It's going to be probably 5.7, same as the Jackson, pretty much. I think the performance is going to be pretty similar to that. Get some nice... get a nice desert camo, a nice winter camo for it. Yeah, not really much else to say. It's basically a Jackson, I think, performance-wise. with a little bit more armor on the front, but that's it. Not much else to say there. Excuse me, I can't breathe. Now the Breda 501, this is going to be fun, I think. Has a lot more ammo. Again, I think can get hull broken. But let's have a look at the actual performance-wise. Speed and all that. It's not amazing. It's nothing like Pack Puma levels, but it's okay. 30 rounds of ammo. For what it is, decently quick. It's decently easy to control as well. It doesn't sway too far to the left or to the right. It's a little better like that. Reverse is good as well. No, I was completely wrong. Reverse is quite poor. So that's going to be a bit tricky. But the gun, the 90 at 4.0, like the reason why this is at 4.0 and this is objectively better than the other, like the tractor, I think that's definitely going to get a BR reduction. Or this is going to get BR increase, I'm not sure. But yeah, the reload, not bad. Can't aim. But the gun performance-wise, when it pens, very good. This one is going to be fun. And because of the nature of the vehicle, it's going to... Oh, weird non-pen, okay. It's going to work at an up-tiered lineup as well, so good. This is going to be a real standout vehicle, I think. The other tank we've got is the M4 here, which is basically a Firefly. Different hull, different turret, same ammunition as the Firefly pretty much. Yeah, same reload. This is going to be what it's going to be. Nothing really too much else to add on this one. And now we get to the... no, wrong one. Bear with me. Are into tier 4. These two here, I'm not sure what to think. I like recoilless rifles. The Hesh is very, very good on them. But like the Type 61, this gets absolutely no ammo whatsoever. So let's take a little look at the test drive here. Oh, I was... No, this one gets ammo, sorry. Getting mixed up with the later one. So this one has 10 rounds. The traverse rate is very, very slow. So this thing it can traverse all the way around. It can't do too much running and gunning. Firing on the move, you can do it. The stability is there to do it. But because the traverse is so slow, and the reload as well is really long, it's got a 13-second reload for one gun. Whereas I think the Ontos reloads all 6 guns in 13 seconds, so we'll have to see. But yeah, maneuverability is okay. It's just the gun traverse is going to let it down a little bit. Now I think, if I'm remembering right, I had a brief look through of all the vehicles. The one after this with the 2 guns, this one here, has 10 ammunition. Look how dinky this thing looks. It's just like the Star Wars toy, like the little trash thing. It's crazy. I think it's just adorable in that nature. I can't get over it. It's just... I want to start talking about Star Wars before I get copyright striked. Now this traverses a little bit quicker, I think. A little bit quicker, but again, not really much ammunition here. Reload again, not that great, but for getting to positions quick, holding up, and doing a little bit of sniping, it's going to be fun. Reload... can't speak. Reverse, not too keen on that. Yeah, we'll have to see. This one is probably... I mean, they both have things going for them. The other one has more ammo, so more of a sniper maybe. This one probably a little bit more speedy. Can maybe brawl a little bit more. Brawl's the wrong word, but, you know, dance around opponents. We'll have to see. They look interesting, though. They're fun little vehicles. Now the Pershing here is basically normal Pershing, but with the M46's gun. So it's got slightly better rounds with the APCR, the AP, and the APHE here. As far as I know, it's not faster. The armor's practically the same. I think this should probably be at 6.3 with the Ariete. Not sure how they'll play it. Oh, the armor's a little bit different. That's new. That's interesting. Didn't notice that before. Ah, I imagine that's the same on the other Pershing as well. Cool. Yeah, I think this is probably going to get a down tier as well, along with this one, to make a pretty decent 6-3 lineup. I think maybe one of these will as well. I'm not sure yet. A quick look here at the M60A1, exactly the same, no difference whatsoever apart from the camos. Nothing really to add at all. It's the same thing. Now for these, we have this is basically, it's really quick. I like this one. It's got the basically the same armament as the JPZ-45 RU-251. With a, it's basically the same gun, like that performance-wise. Traverse is pretty good, and speed as well, very very good. Yeah, you can like be firing on the move anyway, but see what the reverse is like. Reverse is okay, and the reload. What have we got there? Reload not very good. Yeah, for the tier, I think this is going to be okay. You know, it's fast enough to get behind enemy lines for sure. Definitely in that regard. So a lot of toys for flankers here. A lot of toys for flankers. M47. This looks so nice with the extra well, with the gun on here. I think it works a lot better visually. So 7.7 standard loadout here. Stock APDS, but yeah, going to be good. Good tank for 7.7, and it's good to get something unique as well. Let's have a look at the Centauro here. So this is the basically the same as the 8.7 one here, but it doesn't get APDS. Excuse me, doesn't get darts. Only gets the standard loadout, and a very nice camo. I'm in love with this camo. Look at that, absolutely lovely. Love this so much. I'm going to stop gushing over the camo now. It's very superficial. So this one, I'll put it into my a crew slot here. Oh, purchase some lines. Da, 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 da. Go on. There we go. So just give it the ace crew here. Now something I think is going to be changed is the ERA. From playing with Slick earlier, even if you hit the ERA with heat or HE, it still hull breaks, which makes no sense. So not too sure what to think about that. I imagine that's that's going to be changed. Obviously, there's no reason to give it ERA if it's going to get hull broken. So but the reload and turret traverse is good. On roads especially, it's very very quick. Stabilizer's good. Gets again the same round as the A1A1. Very very functional, and I'm a big fan. It's got lots going for it. I think this is going to be a really fun tank. It's pretty large for what it is, which is the only thing, and with the hull break, if that stays the same, it's going to be a little tricky to use. Stabilizer's going to be a bit junky, not too great. The benefit of it is, though, if you look from the side, there's a lot of negative space. So with darts, this thing is going to be decently survivable, I'd say. But obviously, it depends on whether they do something with the hull break. We can't be sure yet. We'll have to see. Nearing the end now here. Let's go on to the this one. So it's on the Gavin. It's going to annoy people probably. Chassis. It doesn't have a radar, as far as I know, but it's a very good AA. The quad Orlican guns here, really good with this HE belt. It gets the Sabre belt as well, but it only gets 60 rounds, so it's the emergency belt. So can't do too much, but it's decent. It's decent for taking out lightly armored tanks, and it switches pretty quick as well. Now finally here onto the OF40. Basically, it's going to be the Leopard. Same armament here. Let's give it. Oh, I'll give the Mark IIA a test drive. So this one, basically the same armor-wise. It might have a little bit of bounce potential in the turret. Might be a little bit iffy to go through that. But this one gets darts as well, same as before. And the only other change really is that it gets almost twice the turret traverse, which is pretty good. So I'll give this a quick test drive here, just to show it off. I think the lineup for top tier is going to be good. 8.0 and 8.7. It's got a lot going for it here. So turret traverse, really, really good. Mobility, pretty decent. Looks a lot like the AMX-40 actually. That's cool. Stabilizer's decent. Magnification, you know, it's what you're going to expect. Nothing super complicated about this one. You know how it's going to perform. Yeah, and this is going to be pretty good. Yeah, not really too much else to say. It's going to be the top tier MBT, and it works. I think this is going to be a fun one, especially with the turret traverse. There's a lot going for it there. And finally, I think that's everything. Let's cover the automatic, and this thing is a bloody house. It's massive. I don't think it gets hull broken from what we've seen. Let's give it a go. Everyone wants to see this. On the live server right now, it lets you take out as much APF STS as you like, but I think it's going to be limited to 16 rounds, so we'll have to see about that. 12 rounds rather. So full stabilizer, bloody massive, and I'll just show you how it works. So you know, 300 odd mil darts. It can go through any top tier tank if you hit the right spot, but I'll just show you what I mean. So fire 1, fine, reloads really quick. Fire 2, fire 3, fire 4. You can see the accuracy really going down here. Yeah, especially at range, it's really cutting off. So yeah, it's not going to be as amazing as people might think, but the proximity rounds on if I can actually hit. Yeah, the proximity rounds are going to be great. So as an AA, this thing is going to be amazing. But let me just show you one more drawback here, is that it does have a ready rack system. So it's reading the last round in here, which, don't worry, it's really doing that. But now that's it. And you can see how slow that's reloading back into the drum. So this is not going to be as amazing, I think, as people might have hoped, but it's balanced. It's not going to be overpowered, and it works. I think this thing's perfect where it is. There's going to be a lot of potential to do a lot of damage with it, but it's not overpowered at all. Not overpowered. Yeah, I think, unless I've been stupid and missed something, which I very well might have, I think that's everything. I think here. Yeah, I think right now that's all we've got. So yeah, okay. Thank you for watching this video, quite rambly video on all the upcoming content on the dev server right now for patch 1.85. Sorry for my degrading voice. I know it's not used to talking very much, so it kind of dies. Sorry for that. And I hope I've done a relatively decent job of showing off stuff. And I hope you're excited for 1.81. 1.85 as much as I am. So yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And yep, I might do another follow-up on the next dev server if there's anything else added, any changes. But for now, this is going to be it. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.